please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We're going to be continuing a discussion from Tuesday because, well, KSI is still going off on one, and TommyInnit's been trending for mocking KSI, Logan Paul and Mr. Beast. More notably, Logan Paul. So we're going to go to him first. Now, in the first video, on Tuesday, we showed a bunch of messages that showed Logan Paul was brushing off TommyInnit multiple times when Tommy had reached out politely to ask for help. Cordial conversations to try and meet up, leading to nothing. Well, it turns out after the backlash in the online space, the Minecraft YouTuber did exactly the same thing to Logan Paul. Published the message unread because it was an alert on a phone. This alert, just to be clear, call me back, I think we should handle this like adults, by tweeting, "You man-child, leave me alone." Reply from Jack's Films, "I've heard this before." Yes, I can't imagine where I've heard this before. The thing is, handling this like adults, Tommy had given you every opportunity to do so. You lashed out over one tweet, 4 words, criticizing you for, in a segment titled Gaza Topic or Gaza Situation, I can't remember what it was called, something to do with Gaza, you were promoting Prime. Optics on it make you look like an absolute dullard. At the same time, because of how much traction in the online space Tommy can get, he certainly has the younger people, not just because of the Minecraft, because his sense of humour resonates with them well, as opposed to Logan Paul, who doesn't have that pull, for example, on Twitter. Logan wants to be seen being proactive to try and placate Tommy. Should be worth pointing out, there's not much that Tommy can learn from Logan anymore, so I don't think Tommy needs Logan, and he doesn't need to have any conversation with Logan. But now that Logan's on the receiving end of the negativity, he wants that conversation. He also needs the conversation. Everyone has to protect their brand of looking as PG as they can. WWE superstars are renowned for it, because if they speak out of turn, they usually get told off. Are you still contracted with the WWE? Now, Tommy wasn't done. Tommy's rarely done, to be honest. He has to have some way of mocking all relevant parties and the idea of a creator starting a business to sell things to their audience. Like food, drink, guitars, the list does in fact go on for quite some time, or doing sponsorships, but in this it's the business part of creating your own product, by releasing the following, simply titled, Something Important.
The other day I stared out to the sunset, and I asked myself, what is the YouTube creator economy missing? You know, because we have chocolate, we have drinks, we have little YouTubers, baby photos on USB sticks, but where do we go from here? Well, luckily for you, I hold the future right in my pocket. Vapely. Vapely is an all-new way to make fans feel good.
I'm going to be that person, by the way. I have tried Mr. Beast's chocolate. It's not that good. It really isn't. Dairy milk is superior. I have enjoyed the chocolate flavour more from a strawberry starburst than I did from a bar of Feastables, or whatever it's bloody well called. Now, it should be worth pointing out that this is a Poe. It's a joke. It's a meme, breh. It really is. Dex2 themselves acknowledge it as such with an article. This video had TommyInnit trending at number 3 on YouTube for mocking Lunchly with Vapely. With enough time passing, I'm sure others will pounce on this trend. Nick Ricata, Coakley, Ethan Ralph, Grapely, Chris Chan, Diddles Mumsley, and who can forget Tipster with his stellar A-star product, Lonely. Now, within that video, TommyInnit rips on Lunchly continuously by ripping on what they've said about Lunchly and applying it to Vapely, the better for you vape. He also said, "I'm so proud of us YouTubers for just taking the business world by storm. Candy, energy, chocolate, finally giving the people what they need more of, sugar." Now, as far as I'm concerned, there isn't much of a clapback for Logan Paul unless he intends to dust off the diss tracks of old. But even then, he's not going to win. And he can't challenge Tommy to a fight because that's not a fair fight. Logan would have to train for it. Short of finding a resolution by meeting in person and actually discussing things like men, Tommy won this. This entire video is him satirizing everything about the drama. He even took Dan TDM's tweet that started this in the first place. They got KSI going off on one, which is hilarious still, by saying, "Don't listen to these haters that are saying things like, you're just selling crap to kids. What do they know about kids? I know tons about kids, more than them." And that's another point, isn't it? Yes, Dan didn't really have to make that point. If you don't get the sarcasm, Dan's a father. Future tweets we covered earlier in the week confirmed that, right? I think that was within a point about no one being able to see the positive when KSI was being positive towards Dan, right? Perhaps trying to get him to engage on the subject. On Twitter, TommyInnit has actually tweeted out, "Now I know this might come off hypocritical after the past few days, but I also have my own product to announce I've been working on for a year or two now, introducing the TommyInnit Vape by Vapely." Retweeted by somebody. "Why are these Minecraft YouTubers trying so hard to be funny recently and jumping on the hate train on Lunchly? Their community is filled with PDFs, but they have nothing to say about that. LOL. Now that is a false equivalence. Two different situations entirely. Minecraft YouTubers have a rather bad reputation. Yes, of course they do. Hashtag not all. But he is not Tommy discussing that. He, Tommy, is discussing Lunchly. He's criticising it. And he's also criticised Prime. He was mostly criticising Prime. It led to Lunchly. Because it works. Because Prime is in Lunchly, isn't it? That whole meal deal thing? Right, yes, that. The funny thing to me is, all this effort they've made to make Lunchly wouldn't be such a big deal if it were not for the fact that the food standards in the United States is significantly lower than that of, for example, the United Kingdom. We may get done for beige food, but the quality standard of the product itself is always higher. You can brag about the number of ingredients, you can brag about the flavour, but the quality is always preferred. And we know this, by the way, from many American YouTubers who do shorts trying cuisine of the same type in differing nations. The UK ranks higher. Not the highest, just higher. Now we're going to use this as an excuse to now segue to KSI, business partner to Logan Paul. It seems to work, right? We're going to start with a Nick Diorio tweet. KSI's responses are too stupid to be anything other than engagement farming. People keep asking me to cover every new KSI cringe tweet, as if it's anything other than the intentional R-word behaviour to sell current thing and promote current song, sleeping face emoji. I thought Dan TDM's initial "what happened to YouTube" tweet was really dumb and cringe too, but KSI decided to farm it into the dirt to keep printing money selling garbage. He's fully self-aware and wasting everyone's time to keep his name in the headlines. Now this is an interesting series of tweets. It's interesting because, to an extent, I agree, but then there are other things we have to take into account that make me question it. You see, KSI is really defensive about his music. Yes, there is undoubtedly going to be a motivation here to try and get those who are critical of your music to be on your side. But when you can't handle it, even though he's been here long enough to be able to usually laugh most of it off, something tells me this one's quite personal to him, and it's less about farming. KSI is a very proud person, and that does usually lead to a form of arrogance on his part. His inability to accept he lost to Tommy Fury is proof of that. When it comes to the success of Prime, when it comes to the success of his music career, surpassing that of Rice Gum, which he was quite happy for a few reasons, meant a lot to him. And he holds it close to his heart because music was how he sort of, tried to break away from the standard YouTube content he made years ago. La Lamborghini, remember that? He did to an extent get better over time, and this is him yet again getting creative. Whether the results are worthy of the success, praise or ire, I couldn't say. And I'm not going to judge his music. Again, it's not my style. But I can understand why he would get very defensive about it when people segue onto it after criticising him and others for Lunchly. Right now, the sheen that made Mr. Beast untouchable is eroded. Logan Paul has never had that sheen. JJ was untouchable for a long time as well. Saying things are cringe, yeah, that's cringe. Just thought I'd let you know. But I do agree there's a level of farming involved, but I'm not sure when it comes to his music if it's genuine or whether it's focused on Lunchly only. If it comes to his music, I think there is a separation. Now some people have been reacting to the new song. His own brother Deji heard the song, and this is Deji's reaction to it.
I'm in the thick of it, everybody knows.
Sorry. He did it just makes, yeah. All right.
From the screen to the ring to the pen to the
Oh my gosh, wait.
Okay, it's justified. The song is not that great. No offense to you, JJ. I hope you're listening. I doubt you are. But the flow you've gone with for your style of music, this doesn't work. This sounds very schoolyard. It doesn't really... It sounds too pop. I'm glad you sound like you're in tune at least, without too much auto-tune. At the same time, Deji's laughing at you here is justified. Just from those bits alone. Please don't copyright strike me, I beg. That applies to you as well, Deji. Now, rather amusingly, Opera GX browser on Twitter tweeted out, "We're adding a feature that automatically mutes your audio if you accidentally play KSI's new song. Reply, please fix the ad block for YouTube. Reply, the unskippable ad sparing you for 10 seconds from hearing KSI's music." The fact KSI is getting cooked by browsers now is hilarious. Yes, I've learnt that term. It's in a tweet underneath this, in fact. No offense to you, JJ, but you might want to consider a different song, yeah? Go back to La Lamborghini, remaster it, redo it, make it a better song. Maybe call it Fiat Punto. Bitch, I know you see me when my chauffeur's driving me in my Fiat Punto. How's that? Now, because Dexter2 like to pounce on anything that happens to social media influencers, they had to point out that KSI's Thick of It has 154,000 upvotes. He has been ratioed by a comment that says, honestly, if it had a different beat, different melody, different lyrics, different sound effects, different artist, different theme, different message, and a different genre, it could have gone hard. Who gets ratioed by a comment? That's impressive. That's YouTube Rewind territory of ratio. KSI, please don't think this song's all that great then. Please. Your music's going to be under greater scrutiny right now. I understand wanting to be more pop star, because that is more lucrative and greater success comes your way as you try to legitimize yourself. In the UK, your first album, Assimilation, went to number 2. All over the place, album number 2 went to number 1. You would want to stay up there. Of course you would. As you get older, your younger fans are growing up and moving away. You're going to want to make a change. If this is a lead single off a new album, you are going to need help. And if you're surrounded by glorified yes men, this is doing you no favours. He got cooked by Speed as well. I thought you two were tight. Here's Speed's reaction to it.
Hey, this story goes, come on!
A few moments later.
KSI. This is so... Quit music! Quit that! Turn that on! Turn that trash ass on!
For this to make sense, in that clip that a few moments later happened, yeah, Speed was dancing to the song, he was loving it. And KSI was loving that he was loving it. Validation 101, I guess. Now, I mentioned a copyright problem, perhaps, right? Ludwig got an entire livestream demonetized because he played a few seconds of KSI's new song. Copyright owners of WMG on behalf of Beerus Limited. I forgot that JJ was a massive Dragon Ball Z fan. Yes. Ludwig, rather interestingly, is one of the few people that enjoyed the song. Now, there's one last thing I want to show you. It's from Aiden Ross. Because Aiden Ross went off on KSI in a discussion together on Kick. This is how it went.
Why am I so mad? Have you seen what I've been going through?
Okay,
these
but
past days.
I'm not mad. I'm not them.
It's me happy releasing my music, and then I've got people trolling online repeatedly, and there's nothing I can do. And it pisses me off. And then I've got the Atlantic hit me up, being like, "Bro, I know you're gonna hate me, but you better, you gotta react to another TikTok because they're just flying right now. You gotta react.
Keep it cool.
Yo, no, I'm sorry. Your audience, bro. They're like, cry. Yo, for your moms, bro.
Whoa. Don't say the moms. Dude, listen. How are you mad that your song is ass, bro? Like, why are you taking out my chat? No, JJ, I'm trying to be nice, but you can't talk to my community like that, bro.
That's 2 slaps now.
Not gonna lie, watching these two have their back and forth was quite something to behold. To an extent, Nick Diorio's original tweet applies here as well though, because JJ is now being very proactive in trying to make sure his song gets out there for more views and more clicks. Even if it's negative, you've got to remember here, positive or negative interaction on a video on YouTube doesn't really mean much, in the sense of negative doesn't harm your video. It harms your ego, doesn't harm your video. In fact, the more engagement your video gets, the more your video is promoted. It's why I ask people to like, share and subscribe. Of course, I want to grow my channel, so I ask you to subscribe. Share the video because it might get more people to watch the video. Like the video because it has a greater chance, even with a channel where I get the viewership I get, to be seen by more people, more subscribers, more active, of course, is preferred. In your case, JJ, you have tens of millions of subs. The song hasn't been well received. Now that could be because of your audience, but let's face it here. Do remember, you've got millions of views on this. The engagement is mostly negative. That's your audience. If they happen to also be audiences of Aiden Ross, TommyInnit, then there's crossover. Perhaps don't rub them up the wrong way and they won't rub you up the wrong way. Instead of being a dick to people, how about you be less of that for a change? I know it's not the easiest because you, like I, suffer with a chronic condition called being English. And so being a dickhead is in our nature, along with self-deprecation, which is not something you do very well. But give it time, you'll mature into it. It may well finally come to fruition and flourish once your face has finally decided to let you have a full face of hair, a beard, as it is often called. We can all dream, right? Although you could get a hair transplant if you really want one that bad. Whether you like Lunchley or not, whether you like Logan Paul or not, KSI or not, or KSI's music or not, that is entirely up to you, the individual, the viewer, to choose. I'm not a fan of Prime. I think it's not for me, it's far too much on the palate. But it is popular because of the flavour, okay? And because of the brand, who represents it. I know that Mr. Beast's food products are quite popular as well. The Lunchley product may well get quite popular as well, even with its minor improvements to nutritional value, although let's face it here, that genre of food typically isn't that great to begin with. KSI's music has always been all over the place like his second album Title, and Logan Paul has never been able to handle criticism from anyone. JJ used to, but I guess he's taken a bit too much now, and that Tommy Fury loss has really plagued him, hasn't it? Either that or that aura invincibility has finally just eroded and now they're touchable.